Good evening, friends. Today, in this section, we are going to discuss about the properties of liquids. So, before that, we have to know the definition of a fluid. So, a fluid is defined as any substance which has capacity to flow from one place to another place. So this is the definition of a fluid. Now these fluids are classified into two categories. One is compressible fluid and the other one is incompressible fluid. That means if you can increase or decrease the volume of a fluid, it is called as a compressible fluid. And if you cannot increase or decrease the volume of a fluid, it is called as incompressible fluid. Now, secondly, we cannot change, that means we cannot increase or decrease the volume of liquid. So therefore, all the liquids, they are referred to as incompressible fluids. And similarly, we can increase or decrease the volume of a gas, any gas. So therefore, all gases, they are referred to as compressible fluids. That means, so in the case of liquids, we cannot change the volume, we cannot increase or decrease the volume of liquids. So that's why they are called as incompressible fluids. Similarly, we can change the volume of gases. That means we can increase or decrease the volume of gases. So therefore, they are called as compressible fluids. So this way, fluids are classified into two categories, namely compressible fluids and incompressible fluids. And finally, all the liquids are referred to as incompressible fluids, and all the gases, they are referred to as compressible fluids. So this fluid is a substance, can be defined as a substance which has capacity, capable of flowing from one place to another place. So that's why it is, referred to as a flowing substance. That means it is made up of molecules. So therefore, it has a tendency or capacity to flow from one place to another place. So that's why it is referred to as a flowing substance. And secondly, these fluids are used for operating several machines. Fluids are used for operating steam turbines. Fluids are used for operating, water turbines. So it's used for putting the machine in working condition, operating condition. And that means just now I have told you that fluids are used for operating, water turbines, used for operating steam turbines, also used for operating gas turbines. So therefore, it can be also called as a working substance, a substance which can be used to put the machine in working condition. So therefore, it's also referred to as a working substance. So these are the short, definitions. So fluid has capacity to flow from one place to another place. It's called as a flowing substance. And similarly, it is used for operating several machines. Therefore, it is also referred to as a working substance. So these are the, short definitions of this term called as a fluid. Now, as informed earlier, we have two varieties of fluids. One is liquids and the other one is gases. So now here we are going to note down the properties of liquids. So in this topic, there are several, points like mass density of liquid, weight density of liquid, specific gravity of liquid, specific volume of liquid, absolute viscosity of the liquid, and kinematic viscosity of the liquid, cohesion of the liquid, adhesion of the liquid, surface tension of the liquid, capillarity of the liquid. So this way around there are around 10 issues. There are all these points put together. They are referred to as properties of liquids. They are called as properties of liquids. Now, the first point, this is called as mass density. Mass density. So this is the first and foremost property of a liquid referred to as mass density. And now this mass density, it is also called as a specific mass, and it is simply called as density of liquid. So three names are given to this parameter. So basically it's called as mass density. It can be also called as specific mass, or simply it can be referred to as a density of liquid. So, so this is the first and foremost property of the liquid. So in all the cases, we have to note down the definitions, we have to note down the formulae, we have to note down the notations, and also we have to note down the units. So for each and every parameter, for each and every property, we have to note down all these points. One is the definition of the term, and one is definition, and we have to note down the units. The second one, units. The third one, formula or equation, and the last one is notation. Now back to the point. This mass density, it is denoted by a letter called as rho. So this letter has to be used. This letter has to be only used for indicating the mass density of the liquid. Now this is expressed in kg per meter cube. It's expressed in kg per meter cube. So we have to follow SI system. So therefore, the unit of mass density will be has to be expressed in kg per meter cube in the case of SI system. And lastly, it is defined as mass of the liquid possessed per unit volume. Unit volume in the sense how much mass is present in 1 meter cube of liquid, or how much mass is present in 1 liter of liquid. So this we are measuring this parameter that's called as mass density of the liquid. So it is defined as a mass of the liquid per unit volume. So therefore, it is written as M by V. So this is the formula, that is M by V is the formula to be used for measuring the mass density of a liquid. So as given in the slide, small m has to be used for indicating the mass of the liquid. It has to be expressed in kgs in SI system. Capital V to be used for indicating the volume of liquid, and it has to be expressed in meter cube in SI system. So therefore, mass is coming in the numerator and volume is coming in the denominator. So ultimately, it is expressed in terms of kg per meter. So this is the unit of mass density in SI system. It is given as kg per meter. So finally, this water, it is taken as a standard liquid. We have wide range of liquids apart from water. Kerosene, oil, petrol, diesel. So all these things, they are referred to as liquids. So out of all these liquids, water is branded. It is treated, or it is taken as a standard liquid. Now, the mass density also, the mass density of water, it is given as 1000 kg per meter. So we need not remember the mass densities of all the liquids, but water is a standard liquid. At least we have to remember the mass density of this water, of this standard liquid called as water. So it is given as the value is equivalent to 1000 kg per meter. 1000 kg per meter. So we have to follow SI system. In the case of SI system, while following SI system, always the density of water, the mass density of water has to be taken as 1000 kg per meter. So these things will not be sometimes given in problems, but we have to assume these values. We have to remember this value of mass density. At least for water, we have to remember the value of mass density. So we can assume this value, and we will be in a position to solve problems in the examination. So as a whole, this is the this is the first property. So this is mass density called as specific mass. Also, simply it's referred to as a density of liquid, and expressed in kg per meter cube. And the value of mass density is taken as 1000 kg per meter cube in the case of SI system. So this is about mass density, and we have that letter rho. So it is the letter rho is used for indicating this parameter. So for water, it is simply written as rho, and for oil, it has to be written as rho naught or rho O. For mercury, it is written as rho M. So for petrol, it can be written as rho P. But water is a standard liquid, so we need not use any kind of suffix. So simply it can be denoted by this letter called as this rho. So that is about for indicating the density of petrol, it has to be written as rho P. For diesel, it has to be written as rho D. But whereas in the case of water, so suffix is not required. Just you mention the letter, it will be sufficient for indicating the mass density of the liquid. And second parameter, so this is called as weight density. So we have one more parameter, that is weight density of the liquid. This is also called as specific weight of the liquid. First one called as specific mass of the liquid, and the second item, it is referred to specific weight of the liquid. Now it is defined as a weight of the liquid possessed per unit volume. So what is the weight of 1 meter cube of liquid? What is the weight of 1000 liters of liquid? What is the weight of 1 liter of liquid? So this is called as a weight density, also referred to as a specific weight. So it is defined as a weight per unit volume. So first parameter is defined as mass per unit volume, and this is similarly defined as weight per unit volume. And therefore it is written as the formula. It is expressed in the form of an equation. So weight of the liquid will be coming in the numerator, and volume of the liquid will be coming in the denominator. And so by using this formula, we'll be in a position to measure the weight density of a liquid. And secondly, a small w, small letter w, that has to be used for indicating this parameter. And it is expressed, it has to be expressed in SI system. It has to be expressed either in Newton per meter cube, or it can be also expressed in kilonewton per meter. So small w, it is written as capital W by capital V. So capital W, weight of the liquid, capital W is coming in the numerator. It's expressed in Newton or kilonewton. Capital V is coming in the denominator. It's expressed in meter cube. So therefore, the weight density of the liquid, ultimately, it will be expressed either in Newton per meter cube, or it can be also expressed in kilonewton per meter. And finally, as I've already told you, this water is a standard liquid. We have to remember, apart from mass density value, we have to remember the value of weight density of water. So this will not be given in problems. We have to assume the weight density of water. We have to remember the value of weight density of water. It is given as 9.81 kilonewton per meter cube, or it has to be taken as 9810 Newton per meter. So if you want to express in terms of Newton per meter cube, it has to be taken as 9810. And if you want to express the term in kilonewton per meter cube, then it has to be, the value has to be taken as 9.8. So 9.81 kilonewton per meter cube, or can be also taken as 9810 Newton per meter. So these are the, very basic, very important properties of liquids. So one is called as mass density, also referred to as specific mass, also referred to as density, letter rho for indicating the parameter. And similarly, the other one is a weight density of liquid, also called as a specific weight of the liquid. So small w to be used for indicating this second parameter. So these values are very, very essential for solving problems, not only in the first chapter, but also throughout the subject. In all the most of the chapters, we have to make use of these values. So we have to remember the values of mass density of water, and also we have to remember the value of weight density of water. So the next one, we have the one more property, two more properties. First one is called as specific gravity. So this is also very, very, important topic. So now this is specific gravity. It is defined as, we have two definitions for specific gravity. So it is, firstly, it is defined as the ratio of weight density of liquid to weight density of water. And also it can be defined as a ratio of mass density of liquid to mass density of water. So two formulas are available for measuring specific gravity. So it can be taken as a ratio of weight densities, or it can be taken as a ratio of mass densities. So if you want to measure the specific gravity of a liquid, you take the weight density of liquid, you take the weight density of water, find out the ratio, you get the specific gravity of the liquid. Or, alternatively, you take the mass density of liquid and take the mass density of water and find out the ratio of these, two items. Then still you get the specific gravity of the liquid. So two formulas are available for measuring the specific gravity of liquids. So it can be obtained by taking the ratio of weight densities, and also it can be obtained by taking the ratio of weight densities. So you select any of this method, you will be getting the same value. Either whether you select the weight densities, ratio of weight densities, whether you find out the ratio of weight densities, or you measure the ratio of mass densities, you will be getting one and only one answer. So therefore, two formulas are available for measuring the specific gravity of liquid, and capital S is used for indicating this parameter. So these definitions are written in the form of mathematical equations. So it is written as WL by W. It can be written as rho L by rho. So you use any one of this formula, you will be in a position to get the value of the specific gravity. So two formulas are available, that is WL by W and rho L by rho. So WL is used for indicating the weight density of liquid. W is the weight density of water. Similarly, rho L is mass density of liquid, and rho is the mass density of water. So two methods, two formulas are available for measuring this value that's called as specific gravity. Capital S is used for indicating this parameter. And finally, in the previous slide, we have noted down the values of mass density of water. We have noted down the values of weight density of water. Similarly, here the specific gravity of water, it is a standard liquid, so it is taken as 1.00. So specific gravity of water is 1.00. Specific gravity of mercury will be 13.6. Specific gravity of oils ranging from 0.8 to 0.9. So different liquids will be having different values of specific gravities. So specific gravity of mercury called as SM, specific gravity of oil called as S0, specific gravity of petrol SP, S suffix P, specific gravity of diesel S suffix D. But we need not use any suffix for water, it is a standard liquid. So capital S is sufficient. Capital S without any suffix, capital S will be sufficient for indicating the specific gravity of water. It is taken as 1.00. So friends, we have to remember, apart from the value of water, we have to remember other values also. Specific gravity of mercury, that is, we have to remember, that is very useful for solving problems. Sometimes the value may not be given, so you should be in a position to assume these values. So for water, it has to be taken as 1.00. For mercury, it has to be taken as 13.6. For oils, you have to take any value ranging from 0.8 to 0.9. So this is about the specific gravity of the liquid. And finally, we have one more parameter, that is specific volume of the liquid. Now, this is defined as volume of liquid possessed per unit mass. Volume of the liquid possessed per unit mass. So volume will be coming in the numerator, and the mass of the liquid has to be taken in the denominator. And small v has to be used for indicating this parameter. So therefore, small v, according to the definition, small v is written as capital V by small m. So small v for indicating specific volume, capital V for indicating the volume of the liquid, and small m for indicating the mass of the liquid. So volume is coming in the numerator, and mass is coming in the denominator. Find out the ratio of these values. Automatically, you will be getting the value of, automatically you will be getting the specific volume of liquid, and small v has to be used for indicating this parameter. And finally, volume is expressed in meter cube, mass is expressed in kg, as told in the previous slide. So meter cube is coming in the numerator, and kg is coming in the denominator. So therefore, the unit of specific volume, therefore specific volume will be expressed in meter cube per kg. So friends, remembering these things, very, very important. We have to remember the definitions of all these terms. We have to remember the units of all these terms. We have to remember the notations used for all these terms. And also we have to remember the formulas available for measuring these values. So definitions are important, formulas are important, units are important, notations also, important. So all these, four items, so they are called as main basic properties of liquids. And finally, we can compare this specific volume with the mass density. So mass density is written as m by v, and specific volume, according to the definition, it is written as v by m. So therefore, this specific volume can be called as a reciprocal of mass density. So it is written as 1 by mass density, 1 by mass density. So 1 by specific volume, you find out the value of 1 by specific volume, you get a mass density. You find out the value of 1 by mass density, you get the specific volume. So specific volume is referred to as reciprocal of mass density, or in other words, mass density can be also called as a reciprocal of specific volume. So friends, remembering these things are very, very important. Definitions, units, notations, and formulas. So very, very essential for solving problems in the examinations. So here we have this one more property that is referred to as viscosity of the liquid. So viscosity, it is a very important property to be possessed by a lubricant. So lubricants are used for reducing the friction. So for while operating machines and machine elements. So therefore, the liquid has to stay back in a particular region. So it should have resistance to flow from one place to another place. So that is called as viscosity. That means on one hand, the liquid has, a capacity to flow from one place to another place. That is called as flowability. And on the other hand, it has capacity to stay back at a particular place. This is called as viscosity. So internal resistance, so we have this definition, internal resistance offered by the liquid to, prevent the flow from one place to another place. So this is called as a viscosity of liquid. And we have two types of viscosities. We have to measure two values of viscosities. So one is called as absolute viscosity. So also it is referred to as dynamic viscosity, and simply it can be also called as a viscosity of the liquid. So three names are given to this particular parameter. It can be called as viscosity of the liquid, can be called as absolute viscosity. Also, it can be referred to as dynamic viscosity. So all the words convey the same meaning. And three different names are given for indicating this parameter. And finally, this notation, that is letter mu, that has to be used, that has to be only used for indicating the absolute viscosity of the liquid. And we have a formula, just like previous parameters, we have a formula for measuring the absolute viscosity of the liquid. And this formula, it is called as Newton's equation of viscosity. So it is given as tau is equivalent to mu into dV by dx. So this is called as Newton's equation of viscosity, or Newton's viscosity equation. That is very much available for measuring the absolute viscosity of a given liquid. So now secondly, liquids which follow this equation, which follow this Newton's viscosity equation, called as Newtonian liquids, and liquids which do not follow this Newton's equation are called as non-Newtonian liquids. So this liquid is available for measuring the viscosity of Newtonian liquids. So it is given as tau is equivalent to mu into dV by dx. So we have to measure the value of mu. So it is very easy knowing the values of capital T and knowing the values of initially you have to measure the value of capital T, and finally you have to measure the value of dV by dx. So knowing these values, very easily we can measure the absolute viscosity of the liquid. So that parameters are written in this slide. Capital T for indicating the shear stress induced in the lubricant. This is expressed in Newton per meter square or kilonewton per meter square. And secondly, dV by dx is called as a velocity gradient. So dV is expressed in meter per second, dx is expressed in meters. So you substitute all these, all these units in the above equation. Ultimately, mu will be expressed in Newton second per meter square. So you substitute the units of dV by dx, unit of capital T in the above equation, and simplify all these units. You will be in a position to derive the unit of absolute viscosity. So by doing this, it will be obtained in terms of Newton second per meter square. So Newton will be coming in the numerator, second will be coming in the numerator, meter square will be coming in the denominator. So absolute viscosity. So it can be expressed in Newton second per meter square. Also, it can be expressed as kilonewton in terms of kilonewton second per meter square. And finally, this can be written as a Pascal second, or it can be also written as a kilopascal second. That means 1 Pascal is equivalent to 1 Newton per meter square. So you substitute this value in the above unit. So the first unit can be obtained instead of Newton per meter square. Newton per meter square can be written as Pascal. So the end result will be Pascal second. And kilonewton per meter square can be written as kilopascal. So therefore, end result will be in terms of kilopascal second. So friends, ultimately the value of absolute viscosity, it can be expressed in terms of Pascal second, or it can be expressed in kilopascal second. And Pascal second can be written as Newton second per meter square, because 1 Pascal is equivalent to 1 Newton per meter square. So that's therefore Pascal second can be written as Newton second per meter square. Similarly, kilopascal second, obviously it can be written as kilonewton second per meter square. So just like previous topics, so we have to note down remembering all these things, very essential for solving problems, the examination. Remember the definitions, remember the notations, remember the relevant equations, formulae, and also remembering units, very important. Putting the result and solving the problem, getting the answer, getting the result, you leave it like that, it doesn't convey any meaning. So all the answers, all the results must be expressed in terms of units. So units are very important. So I have to study all these, therefore, I have to study all these parameters with reference to these items. One is, definitions. The first one is a definition, the second one unit. So, notations. So remembering definitions, remembering units, remembering notations, and also remembering the equations or formulas for calculating these values. Now the second one, viscosity, we have two types of viscosity. One is absolute viscosity, which we have seen in the previous slide. And in some problems, we have to measure this value also. This is called as kinematic viscosity of the liquid. So this kinematic viscosity, it is defined as a ratio of absolute viscosity to the mass density of the liquid. So very simple in calculation. You measure the absolute viscosity and put it in the numerator. You measure the mass density, put it in the denominator, find out the ratio of this, find out the value of these two terms. So ultimately, you will be in a position to obtain the kinematic viscosity of the liquid. So as per definition, it is defined as per definition, it is written as a ratio of absolute viscosity and mass density. So absolute viscosity is put in the numerator, mass density is put in the denominator. So find out the ratio of these values, you get the final answer. So that is called as a kinematic viscosity of the liquid. So now we know the definition. We have noted down the definition. We have noted down the formula. And coming to the notation, letter nu and u has to be used for indicating the kinematic viscosity. So letter mu for indicating absolute viscosity, and nu for indicating the kinematic viscosity of the liquid. So simply we have to find out the ratio. Firstly, we have to measure absolute viscosity. Secondly, we have to measure mass density, and we have to measure the ratio of these parameters. So absolute viscosity, we know the units of absolute viscosity. We know the units of mass density. So put the unit of absolute viscosity in the numerator, put the unit of mass density in the denominator. You simplify, all these, units. So it will be obtained it will be final unit. Finally, it will be obtained in terms of meter square per second. So put the units of absolute viscosity in the numerator, put the unit of mass density in the denominator. You simplify the common terms. So ultimately you will be left with meter square per second. So meter square will be left in the numerator, second will be left in the denominator. So it is nothing but a meter square per second. So it is taken as a unit of kinematic viscosity. So kinematic viscosity, it has to be in SI system. Kinematic viscosity, ultimately it will be expressed in terms of meter square, in terms of meter square per second. So these are the major properties of liquid. So we have discussed about the mass density of liquid. We have talked about the weight density of liquid. We have talked about the specific gravity of the liquid, specific volume of the liquid, absolute viscosity of the liquid, and the kinematic viscosity of the liquid. So we have to remember finally we have to remember the definitions of all these properties, units of all these properties, notations of all these properties, and also finally the formulas, equations for measuring all these properties. So these properties are what we have discussed so far, very, very essential for solving problems in the first chapter and also in the coming chapters. So apart from these properties, we have some more items like cohesion of the liquid, adhesion of the liquid, the surface tension of the liquid, capillarity of the liquid. So all these things, they are put together, they are referred to as properties of liquids. So here in this session, we have discussed about the properties of liquids, very, very essential for solving examinations, for solving problems in the examinations. So friends, thank you very much for watching this session. So we are concluding this session. So I thank each and everybody for viewing this lesson. So thank you very much. So thank you.